What's up, everybody? Happy freaking Fast and Furious.
Yep.
Fast X just came out.
Fast 10 your seatbelts.
Fast 10 your seatbelts. Fast 10 your seatbelts listening to this because we're about to review it. Spoilers ahead. We're going
If
to
you
talk
care about this movie at all.
which I don't know why you would, but we're going to discuss everything about it. We wrote in a little bit of notes, but obviously we don't. If you've been around for a while, we're not going to cover it as in depth as the other ones,
Right.
Because we couldn't take notes in the theater.
Yeah. So it's opening night, Thursday night. We just saw it.
Yeah, let's freaking jump in to Fast X
Trailers.
the review. Yeah, with trailers. So literally, we went to the 6:15 showing.
Yeah.
And we got our freaking soda, our freaking popcorn, and then the trailers. The first trailer was for a movie called No Hard Feelings with Jennifer Lawrence.
Yep. Didn't look good.
Didn't look good. I love
all.
Jennifer Lawrence. This movie looked like shit.
Yeah,
Like it was just like she's like dating like a kid or
Like it felt rapey, honestly. Where like because she
she was supposed to
did a Craigslist ad kind of thing
to get a car.
but she has to date a 19-year-old, but she's like
Older than
30s,
that.
right?
Yeah, it seems really weird.
And she's like she's coming on him very heavily, and
he doesn't want it. Looked bad.
Yep.
And then the next one also looked bad. It's a Marvel movie called The Marvels.
yeah,
It's all like I don't know anything about the Marvel universe, but it's like Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and then I can't remember her name in this.
It did
Rambo.
not look good, but I get why they showed it because Brie Larson is in it.
Yeah, and it's the next big Marvel thing, which Marvel hasn't been good in a while either.
Nick Fury's in it too. But Brie Larson, spoiler alert, is in Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to that when we get to that. The next trailer was for Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Looked fine.
I like Mission Impossible.
Yeah, looked like a Mission Impossible
It
movie.
just looked. I haven't seen the couple in the middle.
I've only seen one of them.
I used to like him when I was a kid, and
yeah. Tom Cruise doing cool shit.
It's literally just like, can I do a stunt?
Yeah.
And then he does a stunt, and that's the movie.
And the big stunt on this one is him jumping a motorcycle off of a mountain with a parachute on his back,
Yeah.
which,
And
what?
that's
How does
it.
that help?
Yeah, but it was a cool shot, but like, what's the point? Like, why do you need to do that? Because no one was chasing him in the trailer.
No.
He was just, I don't know. But it looked cool. The next one was for the new Wes Anderson film,
Yep.
Asteroid City.
Looks like a Wes Anderson film.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. It's just going to be probably a weird story, but the cast, incredible.
It is stacked, yeah.
And I just like, Wes Anderson. He has a distinct look and camera.
It's a good vibe.
It's weird that like Steve Carell is in it and stuff like that.
Sure.
But then all the usual suspects for Wes Anderson movies.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I feel sick.
You feel sick?
Yeah, right now.
Why?
I don't know, I might need some water. So I just threw up a lot of popcorn.
You feel better?
A little bit. I was sitting here, I was like, I'm not doing well.
I mean, we ate a lot of it.
I know. I think that's kind of it. Is that like
Just all the butter.
small lunch and then just a bunch of popcorn and just
then soda.
Yeah.
just sitting there.
Yep. No, on the drive back, I was like, I'm not feeling great. All right, back to it. We're professionals.
I'll cut this out.
You're gonna cut that out that I threw up.
I'll leave it in, I guess, if you want me to.
You'd snip it.
Okay, but the next trailer, now that Jacob's feeling better, I love how you just threw up and now he took a sip of Corona. Family.
All right. You know, like how when you're eating popcorn, it gets stuck between your teeth. I just had the reverse of that happen, where it's again stuck in my teeth.
But it's vomit.
Yeah, but
So
it's
you're
still
like-
popcorn,
God, popcorn, like wet popcorn, it's like paper, dude.
and it was red because I drank
because you drank
a glass of fruit punch. Yeah.
You know, an extra large fucking soda pop fruit punch. That's
sure
a
did.
lot of sugar.
It sure is, bud. Oh, it's gone.
And we're not getting any younger. And the next trailer is for a movie that looks absolutely
I don't know
terrible.
who this is for. This movie.
It's called Strays. It's a live action cat movie.
Dog
Dog movie.
Yeah.
Starring Will Ferrell.
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx.
Oh shit! Who plays this human? Because I've seen a different trailer for it.
Dude, I'd never even heard of this. It looks like,
Who's Last Man Alive?
the comedian?
Yeah, like a genius. Will Forte.
Yeah, Will Forte. He's in it?
Yeah, he's the human that Will
like-
Ferrell belongs to.
Dude, it looks fucking terrible.
It's a talking dog movie, but like for adults.
Yeah, because
I don't get it.
it doesn't look good at all.
No, and like I assume that all the big actors who are part of it were just reading lines and getting a paycheck.
I don't get it, dude. Movies are going downhill.
Yeah, they're not great right now.
Like nothing.
Except for the next movie.
The next trailer, it does look pretty good.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a typical horror movie. It's based on a video game.
I was thinking the next one after that. Yeah,
No,
right.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Which probably not great, but it'll be fun.
I think it'll be fun, especially if you're a fan of the video game or a fan of just the whole series.
And if you want a little taste of that, watch Willy's Wonderland. It's a Nick Cage movie. It's basically Five Nights at Freddy.
and that's cool because he doesn't talk at all, right? In the
It's a
movie,
good-
he plays pinball.
That movie's really stupid, but I enjoy it.
No, I like that movie. That movie's, and I love Nick Cage. The next movie does look incredible.
Yeah.
It's the new Christopher Nolan film, and I had never heard of this either. Oppenheimer. Is it?
Oppenheimer.
This looks really good, and it has an amazing cast in it. It
I'm
looks like
gonna go through the cast really quick. It's just every famous white person, basically.
Well, and the main guy in it is
He's Cillian Murphy.
yeah, he's incredible. He's like basically he's in The Dark Knight.
28 Days Later.
28 Days Later. He's also in
Peaky Blinders is
Peaky
his big
Blinders.
thing,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's in that freaking show, which is really good.
All right, so we got Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr., Florence Pugh, Jack Quaid, Gustav Skarsgård, Josh Hartnett, Rami Malek, Gary Oldman.
Damn.
I know there's other famous people.
It looks
Dane DeHaan.
It looks really good in Nolan films. I'm guessing it's going to be long though.
I think Josh Peck's in it too.
Weird because
Yeah.
Nolan films are usually long, but it did look really cool.
Yeah,
kind of about
making of the atom bomb. Yeah.
which is cool. But then there was one more. It was kind of a trailer, but it was a trailer, but it was also for like, oh, become a member of the movie theater, and it was a trailer for the new Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Which doesn't look good either.
Yeah, like that was a bummer because like they did all this work for it. They had all like the controversial, which like I have no issue
I have
with.
no issue.
It just doesn't look like a good movie.
No, it's just like a live action Little Mermaid. It's like we don't need that.
I mean, we didn't need any live action Disney movie.
Yeah, none of them have been good.
No.
Like we don't need it. I don't care that, all the controversy. I don't care about that. It just
Yeah.
doesn't look good. It doesn't look like a good movie. So I wrote that down, and then the lights dimmed, and here we go.
Fast X, baby.
Dude, the movie starts, and it literally starts off at Fast and Furious 5.
Fast 5.
Fast 5. That's okay. So this movie, the story is based on Fast 5.
Yes.
Even though this is the 11th in the series and it's called Fast 10. Fucking confusing. So it literally starts off flashback to 5. It's Rio de Janeiro. It's, if you've seen 5, it's when they're stealing the bank vault.
One of the best of the series.
I saw this movie in theaters. It's the last Fast movie I saw in theaters, and then this one. So it's like a full circle moment for me.
There you go.
But it's like when they're stealing the bank vault from like the leader Reyes as the leader of Rio. They steal all of his money. But then we find out he has a son who was there.
Of course.
Jason Momoa.
Family.
Jason Momoa is his son, so Jason Momoa is now the bad guy of this one.
Because they killed his dad.
Yeah, it was just freaking weird. So then there's all these flashbacks. I think they reshot some of it. I don't know if they reused old footage, but
yeah.
Brian's in it a little bit.
Just snippets.
Just snippets.
Not overdone either. Like I was fine with that.
I did like it because I love that scene because like the bank vault is just destroying the city.
Yeah.
And then they get to the bridge and like that's when he's
We
like,
can't both get out of here.
and he's like, you leave. But also, what's wild is at that point the bank vault's empty. Remember, like they switched it out. So then that's how this movie starts, and it's like, oh, Jason Momoa was the driver, if you remember from 5,
The machine gun car,
which
the
I was
turret.
like, that's cool because
Because
I
I
remember
do
that.
remember that car,
and I
'cause I was-
remember that car getting hit,
And being excited about it, yeah.
and then I was like, okay, that's a cool way to tie it in, and then you
He
just see.
gets thrown from the car.
You just literally see his body fly and then into the water.
and then he's just the moment. Oh, because it's the moment his dad dies that his eyes open. And you're like, family.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, of course, everyone's freaking related. And then it just says Fast X. And then it fades in. California, Los Angeles.
Oh, also, they did all the ridiculous like title screens. And this, I hated these title screens. So
Dude, I
the
hated-
metallic
I
print.
hated the fucking font.
Yeah.
I get that that's what they used for the Fast X, but like every time, and it was the full screen it said
Yeah.
where they were. And even like the subtitles, like when they were speaking Spanish, I didn't like that.
Where like they changed the size.
It was just like,
well, the subtitles have always been. Remember when they used to move?
God, like that's somebody's job. They're like, well, we liked it in the old one, so let's. Oh man! So then, like, it starts off. It's at the house. It's at the classic
No,
Toretto house.
no. I thought we started off on fucking donuts being spun.
Oh yeah, good call. Yes,
Yep.
yes. Before the house.
We see the old. I mean, this car right here, though. I don't even. Oh God, I don't even know what the name of his car is. Dom's dad's car.
Dom's dad's car.
It's a cool car.
That
It goes
gets
fast.
destroyed in every car,
Yeah.
every movie, but he still has it for some reason. So we see that freaking doing donuts in a parking lot, like going really fast, drifting. You can see tire marks. They've been doing it for a long time. And then we see Dominic Toretto stand and get out of the car, and we're
Of
like,
the passenger seat.
and we're like, fuck yeah, it's Dominic Toretto. And then we see Little B is driving.
Baby Brian.
Little B, who's now at this point, how would you say, 10,
Maybe
12? He's
I don't know what kid's age.
I don't know either, but like he's able to talk and like like he's
He can do
able to
stuff.
drive.
Yeah, he can climb around and do stuff.
But he's the one doing donuts, and it's like, okay, that's pretty bad.
Little Toretto. One thing that I just don't get, and I think we've talked about this before, just the family, the bloodline, just the
Yeah, I don't understand. So Little B,
he's I don't know if he's black
he has darker skin,
and very curly hair.
very curly hair. He looks like he's African American.
Maybe mixed.
But what's wild is Dominic Toretto is what, Hispanic?
Maybe I think they say he's Puerto Rican, but his brother is John Cena.
Who's the whitest guy ever.
but Mia, very Hispanic.
But then also his mom, Elena.
Yes.
His real mom, not Letty, because Letty's Hispanic too.
Yep.
His real mom, Elena, is white, but I think she's from Rio.
Yeah, because I think she's Hispanic. She's just very light skin.
But like, so why is he so dark? Like, it doesn't make
like
sense.
yeah,
to
those
me.
two mixed. Yeah, it's just an odd
I mean,
choice.
Dominic Toretto is very tan in these movies. So
I think that's why they make him so tan. In
like
these
they
movies.
literally make him
so
tan.
dark. Yeah. That was just it was a little distracting.
We've talked about that before. You know,
just when they made John Cena his brother, we were like, what do you do? Because even like they mentioned like, oh, I didn't know they had Slavic in your bloodline or something like that. And you're like, what is happening?
because John Cena is so white.
the whitest.
Like
And he knows it.
he knows it, but he embraces it. So that's one thing that the entire movie, I was like, this doesn't make sense at all. Okay, so now after the donuts, then it cuts to the house. It's the barbecue. It's the typical. They're drinking Coronas. It's family. Everyone's freaking there, including Dom's mom.
No, Dom's grandma.
Oh yeah, Dom's grandma, who gives a speech. Who's like a tiny old frail woman.
And like everybody loves her. And
like-
then she's gone.
Yeah, she does like a speech and like
About
freaking
family and how it's important.
Tage, Roman, Han, the hacker girl, I forgot her name.
Ramsey.
Ramsey's there. Like everybody's there. She gives this speech. They eat, and then like it's all like this flashback. Dom's walking around his garage,
Right.
freaking looking at old photos of
And
him
then
and Brian.
See You Again starts playing on the piano.
Yeah, it's like God, dude. One thing that I did notice about this movie, like,
Not subtle.
no, yeah, not so at all. But there was music nonstop. Like it's just pounding freaking.
Yeah.
It was just every scene had music, and it was just like, okay, well, we get it. But yeah, that was weird when the piano came in because I was like, okay, what's going on?
It was
here?
a little heavy handed.
Yeah. Because it's like in the storyline he's still alive. But in real life, that's what's so
That is
weird.
weird,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like they keep him alive, and they just say like,
No,
he's
just-
not here.
Yeah, he's within driving range because
Yeah.
he came over that one time at the end.
Yeah, that's how he came over at the
At,
end
like-
of 9, I think.
Was it 9,
And his
8 or
car
9?
pulled
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
At least they didn't have an empty chair and like, you know, that's why I was waiting. They were like waiting for Brian again or
It's
something.
like, oh
Just-
my God.
I get it, but I also don't get it.
I mean,
it's just like,
they just keep bringing him. They could have had him drive away, but then like I think the issue was they want Mia in it.
they want Mia in it, and Mia's awesome. So
Yeah.
I kind of get it.
I do like Mia a lot.
But then like we figure out like what's going on. We find out that there's a mission going on where Roman's
In charge.
and they got to go to Rome.
And steal a quantum chip or something.
Some
They said just
computer
fancy
chip.
words.
So it's literally just Roman, Tage, and Ramsey going on
Han.
this, and Han
Yep.
going on this little mission. They're like the team, and Dominic and Letty are gonna stay at home.
Yeah, they almost fuck. They talk about they want a kid too now.
Yeah, that's what they're, because technically it's. But I did notice that Little B does call her mom.
I noticed that too.
which was pretty cool early on.
I mean, he was a newborn when his mother was murdered.
Jesus Christ! Yeah,
Yeah.
literally shot.
In the same room as him. Yep.
Yeah.
Like right next to him.
He'd probably be fucking deaf.
And then
dude.
did you notice like there was a time when they were hanging out and then a dog barks and Dom goes to the window? I'm like, you're in LA. There's gonna be dogs.
Yeah.
You're in
So-
LA and not a great neighborhood. It's fine that dogs are outside. And then
Yeah.
they go back to hang out a little bit more. And then they cut to outside, just a fucking new DeLorean.
A new
pulls up.
DeLorean, very fancy. And I'm like, who the fuck is this?
It's Cypher.
Cypher shows up like bleeding.
And it's a quick, like it's the That's
like it's
the
so wild,
timing
but
is fucking
before
weird.
Cypher shows up, I did like what they did because this is what they did in the early Fast and Furious movies. Dom picks up Letty, you know, and holds her and is like, they're about to fuck.
His arms are fucking huge
He's
in this
freaking
one.
jacked,
He's
but
just
also you can tell he's
bulky.
getting old.
I know.
Like you can see it in his face and like.
Well, also this movie just had a lot of close-ups of his face to get emotion. And it was weird.
He made a lot of faces in this movie.
And I don't think any of them were quite right.
Every time he was like upset or making a face,
And
I
he would
just
like turn to the camera.
I just laugh.
Yeah.
I would laugh out loud. So yeah, literally Cypher shows up at the house and Dom is like, well, tell me why I don't kill you right now. Like, because
we instantly flash back to her shooting his girlfriend or wife at the time.
His girlfriend, the mother of his child, and then he's literally like veins are popping on his forearm, like he's so angry,
and it's just so fucking fast.
And she's like, let me explain. The enemy of my enemy
is you.
So it's like, what?
All right.
And then we find out that Jason Momoa came into her freaking place,
took it over,
took God's eye or whatever she had, took some of her computer shit, and like all of her men turned on her, and she barely escaped, because Jason Momoa's character is like captured all their families or something.
Like, she called him the devil. I'm like, all right,
because she used to think of herself as the devil.
Okay,
it's just like, okay, we get it.
Yeah, Cypher has not needed to be in any of these movies since the first appearance.
Everybody is just in them. Like once they're in them, they're in them.
They get paychecks.
Oh man, it's just so ridiculous.
All right.
So then at this point, people show up because like the agency.
Yeah.
Remember like Mr. Nobody's agency, like their group shows up and it's Little Nobody.
Yeah.
Which I was like, oh hell yeah, he has a return.
Yeah, I didn't recognize him.
They show
he's
up.
so unimportant and so bland looking.
Yeah, it's just an average looking dude.
Just a white dude.
But they show up and they're like, what's going on? We got to figure out what Jason Momoa. And they're like, where's the team at? Where's Tage and Roman?
Yeah.
And they're like,
you sent him on a mission.
yeah, you sent him on a mission to Rome. And he's like, no, I didn't. And then you find out, oh, it's a setup.
And then cut directly to Rome. Everybody's there all of a sudden.
Yeah, instantly. They're already there. Cut to freaking Rome. It's absolutely insane. The best way I could describe this scene is it's Rome and it's Rocket League. That's like this whole scene in Rome is just, if you ever played the game Rocket League,
it's very much that.
That's what this whole scene is.
It starts with they set up and then they have to take over this truck. So they get inside and then all of a sudden, oh no, the truck's locked. And then we see Jason Momoa's controlling
the truck, and then we find out
look
there's
in the back of the truck. It's a ball.
It's a giant ball bomb.
Which they immediately are like, it's a bomb, and they're like, yeah, it's this bomb. I can deactivate it if I like. They immediately just know everything about the bomb.
But then they're like, I can only deactivate it if I can touch it with my hands. And that's what Little Nobody says. But they're like trying to help him get it out, and then
it's a high speed chase because they're all locked in. They can't control the truck.
Cars are blowing up. Jason Momoa is just on a tower, freaking blowing things up and laughing.
He's being weird. He's weird the whole time.
He's a weird bad guy, but I kind of liked it.
It was refreshing
because it was something different.
He wasn't serious the whole time, which was nice.
He was still like a crazy bad guy, but like he was just like silly and like he wasn't very masculine.
He was dancey.
Yeah, like he was wearing like, you know, bright pastels. His fingernails were painted.
Yeah,
he was singing, so he was like kind of like playing like a psychopath, just having fun, even though you're murdering thousands of people.
Sure.
Because this ball starts rolling down Rome and it's like heading towards the Vatican.
Yep.
And Dom's like, let me stop it.
Yeah.
With my car. So he's literally playing Rocket League with a bomb.
Smacking the giant ball. At some point it catches on fire for some reason.
It is absolutely insane. And then right before it hits the Vatican.
I did like this.
This is why I love these movies, because it's so ridiculous. Dom's like, oh fuck, what am I gonna do? And he uses his nitrous, ramps up. There's a crane.
Yep, of course.
And he literally hits the side of the crane. The crane
pinball swings.
The crane spins and then knocks the bomb into water, so it doesn't destroy the Vatican. It just destroys part of the city.
And like he's right next to it, but he's fine. He outruns the blast. Nobody else does. But
the
he
blast
does.
radius is blowing up all these cop cars that are chasing him, and it like almost picks him up, and then of course his front wheels catch, and he drives past
outruns the blast. Yeah, after we already saw the blast destroy the city, he then outruns it.
It's absolutely insane. And then after Rome, and after this big chaos,
then we see that Letty gets captured for this because everybody's blaming them for the bomb for some reason.
We find out that the agency that Mr. Nobody runs turns on them, and Mr. Nobody is now nowhere to be found. He
course.
disappeared. So now this guy named Ames is in charge.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
He's a big boy. He's from other things. You'd recognize him. He's a big, strong dude.
Yeah.
But he's in charge, and he's like, we should have never partnered with these criminals.
After you literally went through the list of everything that they say.
Yeah, there was like this, all this flashback of like, they started off stealing DVD players, and then
in walks Brie Larson.
yeah, which is just like, oh, yikes. So apparently she works for the agency too, and then we find out, oh, that's Mr. Nobody's daughter.
Of course.
Of course it is. Everybody has to be fucking related.
Yep.
Like, Jesus.
Except for the actual family we talk about. Their family by choice.
Yeah, why is everyone related except for the real...
Yeah, the family.
Okay, yeah, so I don't get it. So...
And this scene, let me tell you, is so bad.
Dude.
It's weird, because I know she's a good actress.
Brie Larson, I know she can be a good actress.
She's
just not good in this movie.
It's weird how not good she is.
Not good at all. She just doesn't feel like she fits. It doesn't feel like she's part of
But also just, they really just did not do good dialogue in this film.
Oh, the dialogue, absolutely garbage. It's all about... The dialogue throughout it was just about faith, and you gotta like
faith, family, and
drive
then,
on the road.
Yeah, or just like, we got to do this, and like, yeah, obviously you have to do that. That
was literally the only dialogue. Is just like, well, we got to do it.
Yeah.
All right, so then let's do it. Faith. You gotta have faith.
Glad we had that conversation. Yeah.
Brock gotta have faith. That's what I always say. So Letty gets taken by the agency to like a blacklist prison. Nobody knows where he is, and Dom decides to go solo. And he's just like, of course, he's going solo. He's doing his own thing. Brie Larson talks to the big boy with Ames, which we decided, and now she's on the hunt for Dom.
Well, she stole God's eye in that moment.
Yeah, she stole God's eye, which is very important. That's
apparently.
yeah.
Sometimes.
It was like the biggest fucking deal. And
once.
Yeah.
And then it didn't work a bunch of times because of reasons.
Yeah, remember the movie where they actually used God's eye and they're like doing all this shit to fake it out with it, and then they do the car transfer.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, so God's eye just doesn't work.
So then Brie Larson is trying to find Dom, and she like walks into this bar, and like she's
no,
I don't know. I don't know where she is.
Yeah,
but Dom's sitting there. She freaking like beats up some people. The bartender gives her a shotgun. She shoots it in the ceiling, and then she just buys beer for
her and Dom. Yeah,
and it's Belgian beer, of course, because that's what her dad drinks. And then they just discuss, and they're
also,
like,
she is so tiny in this. Like Letty at least has some like
muscle.
Yeah,
yeah, dude. And like they portray her as a badass.
Yeah,
and like she's just not.
It could have been fucking Shaw's sister.
God, yeah. Where the fuck is she?
They could have put her in this.
The only appearance she's ever made in is Hobbs and Shaw, and like, but yet Shaw's ma's in all of these.
Yeah, she's in a lot. Jesus. All right. So now they're talking at the bar, and he's like, "You need to get Letty out." And she's like, "That's impossible." But he's like, "Do it." And she's like, "I'll do it." And that's fucking it.
Yeah. So, but this is weird because Dom gives Brie Larson his fucking cross necklace.
That's
his engagement ring.
That's Letty's engagement ring.
That's his wedding ring.
But isn't Letty supposed to be wearing it? I don't fucking get that.
Because remember early on, Letty puts it on him when they're in the bedroom.
Sure. Yeah.
And then,
I do remember that.
He takes it and gives it, and it's just like, okay, whatever. At this point, the whole team is the top wanted criminals in the entire world, just like usual. Yep. Just like everybody's.
And they've got to clear their name.
So everybody's on the freaking hunt for them. At this point, it kind of splits into, this movie is 4 storylines.
Yep.
So at this point, it kind of goes into 4 storylines. It's going to be, this movie is all over the board.
Yeah.
There's so many fucking jumps. Like, it's just like, okay, now we're here. It's
keep up.
It's insane. It's just like, about a quarter way in, you leaned over to me and you were like, is this bad?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, this is bad.
Yeah.
It's a bad movie that was entertaining. You know what I mean?
I'm saying less entertaining than usual, though.
It was just fun to see in theaters.
It was distracting how bad it was.
There was entertaining moments.
Yes. Like
okay,
4.
so let's get back. So Brie Larson goes to save Letty at the prison, kind of.
And also this prison, because we saw their like advanced prisons when Shaw went to prison and when Hobbs went, like the 2 strongest people.
Yeah.
And like it was just like there's turrets pointing at them. They're in a jail cell underground. Letty is in this fucking, like the doors are these like systematic like different
stone.
cubes.
It's like stone.
No, but they're moving cubes,
Yeah.
and like they form like at the door, and like her wall, like her room is covered in these cubes pointing out of wall, like for no fucking reason.
And Brie Larson's just able to walk in and talk to her. I get she works for the agency, but early on when she was talking to Ames, she was like, "No, I'm going to do my own thing."
Yeah, and you think he was like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, why would he let her? But
yeah.
So then in order to save Letty.
Yeah, because she convinces Letty that she's with Dom, and then she's like, I have a way out of here, but he won't like it. And then she just stabs her.
And then she just stabs her. And then
in the shoulder.
And then that's where the scene ends.
Yep.
And we're like, what the fuck? So then it cuts to Mia. Mia and Little B are at home, and like they're babysitting, they're playing Hot Wheels, they're playing video games.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, like, because the agency's after them.
Fucking tear gas just comes in through the window, and I laugh so hard.
Yeah, so they're getting like ambushed, and it's like, fuck, what's gonna happen? And then all of a sudden we see a guy in the kitchen, and then we just see him get thrown.
Well, Mia beats the shit out of quite a
frying
few people.
pan,
Yeah.
and like, Mia's a badass, which I don't know how they all became fighters. Another thing.
She used to just sell bad tuna sandwiches.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
It's always the tuna.
Yeah.
But then we see some guy get taken down, and so we were like, oh, someone else is in the house. My first thought was Brian.
Me too.
And I
Because
was
she like
like,
smiles to herself. I'm like, oh, that's a weird way to do that.
yeah,
That
I
he's
was
just in the other room fighting people.
Don't be Brian. Please don't. Like, and if it is Brian, are you going to show him? It was not. It was Uncle Jacob. It was John Cena. John Cena shows up, and he's a freaking badass. He's got a grin on his face, and he just helps take down these people.
He's just so big and ridiculous.
He's
looking.
a massive guy.
He looks like a G.I. Joe.
But he did some wrestling moves.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he suplexed a dude, didn't he?
Suplexed a dude
through the floor. Yeah.
Which is badass. And then jumps through the floor.
No, I did love. Like, he was pretty great in this. Like, he's just beating the shit out of everybody, throwing them around, killing people.
It's absolutely wild. So that shows up, and then
he saves Baby Brian.
Yes. So then Baby Brian and John Cena leave, and I don't know where Mia went.
I literally do not remember what happened to Mia.
I think she just was like, well, I'm gonna stay here with Brian. I don't know. I don't know, because John Cena was supposed to take Little B to his dad.
Yeah, and he like told her that. Yeah.
So then let's talk about John Cena's. We'll do this by segments, just so it won't be as confusing for the listener.
So we'll just go with John Cena storyline.
John Cena storyline
up until it reconnects.
Yeah, because the way the story is told in the movie, it cuts like every freaking 10 minutes to a different storyline. It's kind of confusing. So John Cena's storyline. He has like a kayak on top of his car. And
it's an old car. He's proud of it.
It's weird.
Baby Brian gives him shit for it, but then they're like, "Yep, we got to get out of here." He has a tape deck that he's really proud of.
And listen to freaking Good Vibrations.
Yep.
And then they go to like a gas station and get some like clothes, and they're like,
they change.
They get like fake IDs. They look fake passports.
Right. He made fake passports
so they can get on the airplane because. They're being tracked, obviously.
Yeah, because he knows that God's Eye is out there.
So they're on the freaking airplane. John Cena's watching Minions.
Wait, no, before the airplane, there's a scene where he's walking through the airport. He also has the kayak just in a bag over his shoulder.
He's one-handing this giant fucking kayak in a bag.
And while they're walking through the airport, they bump into two people. It's Debbie Ryan and Josh Dunn. Debbie Ryan from Disney's Jessie and Sweet Life on Deck, and Josh Dunn, drummer of 21 Pilots. They're married in real life. They bump into him and they're like, "Oh, excuse us,"
and that's it. And then they walk away. They don't say anything.
No, the two of them don't say anything. Like John Cena is like, "Oh, excuse me." So why the fuck are they in this?
And then in the credits, they're credited as playing as themselves. Yep. So it's like, dude, I was like, what the hell? Why is there weird cameos in this? Not the weirdest one.
Nope.
It gets freaking worse later. I was like, that like took me out of it. I was like, what the fuck are they?
Because I was like, is that Debbie Ryan? Oh, that's Josh.
That's Josh Dunn. And then they just left. And I was like, okay. So then they get on the plane, and
he is watching Minions.
He's watching Minions for some reason. They have like a weird heart to heart talking about, fears and family,
and like how great your dad
and
is,
faith, and then the freaking stewardess gives John Cena a bunch of alcohol.
Yep, just a bunch of like vodkas. I think.
I was just like, all right, so he's just gonna be a drunk now, I guess. But then he's like, on the count of three, we're gonna go to the bathroom. So and then he just says three. They go to the bathroom, and then like people on the plane are from the agency, and they like try to get him. Of course, John Cena beats him up,
hides him in the bathroom, and the stewardess helps him.
Yeah, the stewardess, and he's like, it helps to have friends in the air.
Yep.
And it's just like, okay. So that's a great way to just tie that storyline.
And then
together.
we go down to the kayak, and the kayak is now harnessed to the plane.
Yeah, it's still in a bag, and we're like, what the hell? What are you gonna do? I literally thought they were gonna kayak, like out of the plane.
Well, that's
with paddles.
with like Indiana Jones.
They do that.
He did it with an inflatable raft.
Oh Jesus, with a paddle.
Probably,
dude. But he takes it off, and it's not a kayak. It's a 2-person mini plane.
Yeah, like a little glider.
And he's like building it,
and he fuels it with the 3 mini bottles of vodka.
Yeah, that's what he uses to fuel it. Why wouldn't there just be fuel already in it?
Yeah.
But also the fact he was one-handed carrying this thing, which
And like,
is
where are
wild.
the planes at? Or the wings?
I don't know. It's like this weird little thing,
And him
then
and Brian get strapped in.
get in, and it's like freaking held in, and then the bottom of the plane opens. They're dangling there.
It's a normal plane.
Yeah.
Like,
It's wild.
and then he drops.
And then they drop, and they're just like in a plane, and they just go whoo, just down.
And then wings pop out, and then they fly to the secret base in Rio, right?
Yes, which is
Or maybe not Rio. No, just to his secret base.
I think it is Rio.
No, because
No, because
Diesel's in Rio, and he flies there.
Diesel.
Vin Diesel.
Oh, Vin Diesel. I was like, Diesel? Oh, you mean Dominic Toretto?
Yeah.
No, I think they are in Rio because they leave his base and then they're driving the car, and that's why they end up in the bridge. And the bridge scene's in Rio.
Oh, shit, you're right.
Yeah, so I think they are in Rio, which is weird. Doesn't make sense because they go back to John Cena's old base
Yeah, from 9.
from 9, where he used to, which I don't think took place in Rio.
I
It might
don't
have.
know.
And that's like the rendezvous spot. That's where like they were supposed to meet Dom. Dom didn't show up, obviously.
Yeah, so they're just in the secret base.
They're
And then,
like, fuck.
and then there's a cool car under that tarp. What is it? And he's like, I won't tell you right now. And then mercenaries show up. He's
Yeah.
like, time to show you what that cool car is.
It's like a decked out car with these giant cannons on the side. It kind of looked like
I thought it was the rocket car.
It looked like the rocket car.
looked
And then
a
when they
lot
went
like
to
the
space,
rocket
and I was
car,
like,
yeah.
please don't fucking go to space
Yeah,
again.
it's like what's in space for you this time?
Dude.
But nope, it's a tank car with 4 rockets on it.
And it has like a thing with like a reload thing, and it's just
It's kind of cool.
It's kind of cool. So they get ambushed. They get in this car. They're blowing shit up. They bust out of the back wall. They're getting chased. They're blowing shit up.
and that's where we'll leave them.
That's where we'll leave them. So literally that storyline, so short.
Yep.
But it cut back and forth
So-
and back and forth.
So now let's cut to London.
Yeah. So now let's talk about the team storyline.
Out of a shipping container, out pops Han, Roman,
Tej
and Ramsey.
And they're like, okay, what do we do? They
We're in London for some reason.
because that's where
Ramsey
Ramsey
was from.
and she knows people. I don't know.
But Roman brought them there, and then they were pissed at him for bringing him there.
At this point, they find out that Jason Momoa has hacked their information and has stolen all their money.
Yep. But it turns out Roman is stacked with cash because it's taped all over his body
Literally,
for
he
some reason.
unzips his coat and he just has money taped to him. Like how would you?
Like 100,000 probably.
Yeah, like what the fuck? And he's like, I'm in charge.
Yeah, he
And-
said something stupid.
Yeah, and it's just like
Roman, they ruined Roman.
Roman
in
used to be one of my favorite characters. Same with freaking
Han.
Han used to be one of my favorite characters. Han is still
my favorite.
Han's
But
still good, but like he's not. He's just kind of there now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's weird. So then they freaking are like, we gotta get weapons.
in a computer, we have money now. We need to find a black market.
So then they go to this old
Like, what are those called? Like those cafe.
It's a
Yeah.
computer cafe, old school. And the guy working there, guess who this is? Pete Davidson.
For no
What
fucking
the
reason.
fuck, dude?
Also, he was weird in this too.
Dude, I don't. When I was like, Jesus Christ! Is it
Also,
gonna?
not British.
Yeah, dude, the cameos in this. At least it wasn't. At least it stopped there. But it was like Josh Dunn,
Yeah.
Debbie Ryan, and then Pete Davidson actually talked. Like there
lot.
it was a long scene.
Long scene. And it was like, yeah, they go in there, they give him money. He offers them edibles, which Han starts eating for some
Han
fucking
starts
reason.
eating and then starts having trip visuals, but then they
for
never.
like 3 seconds.
but then they never readdress it again.
No, he like it's a muffin. He starts eating it, and then also during this scene, Roman and Tej get in a fist fight,
They get in a fist fight and start beating up each other in this place.
but also not well. Like also in what Tej wins. In what fucking universe can Tej take Roman? Maybe that one movie where he's just ridiculously ripped, but like
yeah, there was one movie where he
I
took
think
it.
like 6
Where
or
he took
something.
off his fucking shirt and he was just shredded. It was wild. So while they're in this cafe, they're like trying to get on the black market to get access to guns, weapons, and all this shit. And then
You find out that Pete Davidson turned them in because they're most wanted.
because of the ransom money. And he goes, "Sorry, I want the money." And it's like, all right. So then they have to leave.
So that scene was completely unnecessary.
Yeah. And then Han's like, "I have an idea.
Right.
I got to talk
I
to
know
I
somebody, yeah.
know somebody." Which this is kind of cool because this is a callback to the cutscene of 9 where
Yes.
Han knocks on the door and freaking Shaw's there.
Mm-hmm.
Shaw's beating up some guy in a body bag.
Yep.
He opens the door because Han's there.
And he immediately starts fighting Han.
Yeah, but Han's like, "I'm not here to fight you." And he
All right,
like,
the scene where like he starts to pull something out of his jacket and then Shaw like knocks it out and it's his snacks.
it's his snacks.
What?
I think they were trying to do a callback, because early on Han
Han's
was
always
snacking.
snacking. Yeah.
Even though he was kind of snacking slacking in this.
Well, on the muffin.
But also, wouldn't he be still tripping?
I don't know.
even know what those were. Like, was he
Because
high?
he started to trip and then he put the muffin down and he stopped tripping. I'm like, that's not how it works.
No, like it's not how drugs work.
Nope.
It was really weird. But then they're getting in this fight, and then this place gets ambushed.
Yeah.
And then Shaw's like, all right, I guess I'll be on your side. So then they fight. Dude, Shaw is a fucking badass.
He was good in this for the amount of time he was in this.
He's only in the movie for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is wild. It's just this scene and that's it.
Because
Yes.
then they beat all the bad guys and they find out like, yeah, the agency's after whoever helped us.
Yeah,
so that then pops up a photo of Mama Shaw.
Mama Shaw. And that's when Shaw's like, he starts loading his bag and grabbing every fucking weapon on the wall. And he's like, let's go get him.
And then he leaves without them.
But then they end up all on a plane.
Not
later.
with Shaw.
Oh, Shaw wasn't in the plane?
No, Shaw's off protecting his mom, I think.
Okay, so yeah. So,
They take his vehicles.
so that
and
was
his
the
guns.
only time Shaw was in it.
Yep.
That's it. And I like Shaw is one of the best characters.
Yes.
He's just such a fucking badass. Also, he's just a badass in real life.
Right, yeah.
He's
Probably,
Jason
yeah.
Statham. He's
Yep.
a freaking badass. So that's literally
So now the team gets on a plane and they're flying off to where
to
Dom
Rio.
is. Yep.
They're flying off to Rio, and that's their storyline.
And we'll end it
literally,
there for them.
Literally nothing happens. Like that. This storyline doesn't even need to be a storyline.
Nope.
Like it's just so dumb. So now we have two other storylines. We have Letty's storyline and Dom's storyline.
Let's do Letty's
Let's
because that
do
one's
Letty's.
the shortest.
The shortest, and Dom's is like because Dom's the main character, obviously.
So Letty got stabbed. So now she wakes up in a med unit, and a fucking robot is lasering her stab wound closed.
Yeah. What the fuck? It's like healing it.
Yeah. Why do we have laser robots in this prison?
I don't know. But then we look over, and Cypher's also tied up, and they're both wearing like white. How is Cypher? When did Cypher get captured?
No, just, they turned Cypher in when she was at their house.
Oh yeah,
And she
okay.
got taken
Oh
away.
yeah. Okay. So yeah, they're both tied up, and then all of a sudden Cypher hacks into something, even though she's chained up.
So she's within reach of some buttons, which she then hacks the entire super prison and somehow reroutes knockout gas into their vent system.
Yeah, but not in the vent system of where the room that they're in.
No, in the vent system of people watching them. And she knocks them out and then sucks it back up and then takes her hand out.
Yeah, and then she's like, "You want to be a part of my plan now?" And Letty's like, "No, I'm gonna beat your ass."
And then they fight.
And it's like, it's fine.
pretty good fight. There's a couple moves that I like.
I think I heard that Letty Rodriguez,
Michelle Rodriguez,
I
yeah.
think she directed or choreographed that fight scene.
That sounds
which
right.
is pretty cool.
Because I think she's done that before.
Oh,
I
has she really?
think.
Yeah, it was basically just a fight scene that was cutting back and forth between everything else going on in the movie.
Yeah, they break through a glass wall. They do that a lot.
Yep, because they're fighting, and then
There's some good moves in it.
and then it cuts back, and Letty's escaping this place.
Yeah, because
without her.
Yeah, 'cause she does the plan up until she can do it on her own, and then she climbs up this big old shaft.
Yeah.
Pops out of it, and she's in Antarctica.
Yeah, she's in Antarctica in
What
the
the
middle
fuck?
of the tundra, and she's wearing like a tank top.
Yep. And so she's like, oh shit, closes it, crawls back down.
And then freaking
Cypher's like,
Cypher's sitting there dressed in wearing coat, being like,
You cold?"
Yeah, you cold. And then this is when they team up. So like
and then that's the last we see of them until the very end of the film.
until the very last scene, which we won't ruin for you, but that's literally it.
Yeah.
Like it's like, what are these storylines? Like it's
They're
just
not. That's the
it's just
thing.
so wild. So let's talk about Dom's storyline, the main storyline, the storyline that takes
Has some meat in it. Yeah.
kind of, not really.
Not a lot. So last we saw Dom, he was at that bar.
Talking to Brie Larson.
And I don't know exactly what she tells him. Something about, I think like they're going after your family.
Yeah,
So then
and-
he's like, all right, well, they know where to meet me.
Yeah. They know the rendezvous point.
And then, I think he just assumes that, what's the guy? Dante.
Dante.
Is
Yeah,
Momoa's
that's
character.
Momoa's.
Is that, well, he's from Rio, so
yeah.
he goes to Rio.
So he goes to Rio.
and then we get a classic car meet.
yes, dude, it's like literally
Best part
classic,
of the film by far.
classic Fast and Furious.
Bright cars, hot women shaking
Dude,
their
for
ass.
some odd reason, fireworks are going off.
Yeah,
they're like on a beach.
as if they do it every night. Yeah,
It's just like this giant freaking car party.
The girls they got, goddamn, were they talented?
yeah.
Yeah, like they could shake their ass.
There was one scene where it was just a booty shaking.
Yep,
on
and it was great.
And it was just like, yeah, this is what we wanted.
It was literally the best scene in the movie.
It was
probably.
it was a callback to
All of them.
traditional Fast
Yeah.
and Furious. So they show up. I think one of the guys.
Dom pulls up. One of the guy knows him.
I'm assuming it's like
He might have been in like 6 or
I don't
5
fucking
or 6.
know. But then Jason Momoa pulls up.
Well,
Dante.
also this other girl pulls up and she's like, "I'm hot shit." I'll
Oh,
race
yeah.
you.
I'll
And-
race you.
And Dom's like, not now.
Yeah, this cute little young girl shows up, and she's apparently the
Covered
best
in
racer.
tattoos, got some lip rings on her.
Apparently, she's the best racer, and Dom's like, nope, not going to race you because Dom would win. Obviously, doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile, you still win.
God, I forgot. Baby Brian said that while playing Hot Wheels racing.
Yeah, and then Mia's like, I've heard that before,
And then the gas canister.
and it's just like Jesus Christ,
All
like
right.
the dialogue, it's so bad in this movie. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Now Momoa shows up, and then they do the classic. Everybody pulls a gun,
yeah, literally, so half the people at the card party are on Momoa's side, and half the people are on Dom's side,
and then so all of Momoa's people pull a gun, and then all of Dom's people also pull a gun,
and they're all just like,
and then because also there's one point when Momoa's like, "You just want to shoot out and see what happens," and then Dom looks so nervous about that. I'm like, you're fine.
Dom's facial expressions are really good.
Wild,
And by really good, I mean bad.
all over the place.
He's very intense in this movie. Like you can just see like his. I think he worked out a ton or something
Yeah.
before filming this because he was freaking jacked. Okay, so they decide to go on a race, and Jason Momoa's character is like, if I win, you don't want to find out, but if you win, you can take me, you can kill me or
And
whatever.
in this race is Dom's buddy, Dom, Dante,
Jason Momoa,
and then that new girl.
And then the
her
new
name's
girl.
Isabel. I
Isabel,
think, yeah.
which I'm like, why is Isabel and the other dude in it? Why is
Yeah.
it a 4-person race?
Like, why are they like, oh, I want in on, oh, because Momoa puts up $1 million for it,
Oh
too.
yeah, $1 million on the line, which is just like, okay, whatever.
Sure.
So then they go on a race, and then
And then, Momoa's like, the problem with having a big family is, which one are you going to choose to save? And then Dom is freaked out. And I'm like, what? I mean, he just said something spooky, sure, but like, why are you nervous right now? And apparently Dom's figured it out immediately. So the race starts.
so fucking stupid.
I liked the race, though. Well, the race wasn't really anything.
It wasn't really a race.
I liked the scene, though,
Yeah.
before at least. And then Dom's buddy uses his nitro, and then Momo was like, oh, I wouldn't do that. And he flips the switch, and apparently there's a bomb under his car.
Yep.
And the bomb doesn't go off right now. And then the girl flips her nitrous on. He's like, all right, here we go. And he flips her switch, so it's like armed.
So both of their cars have bombs on them.
And Dom's figured it out immediately.
Dom knows, oh, I can only save one. So Jason Momoa's whole thing in this movie as a bad guy is trying to be like, you can only save one person,
Yeah.
but you love saving your family. So who are you going to save?
And then-
because everyone's your family, I guess.
somehow-
Even though you just met this chick.
Yeah, somehow Dom has figured out the whole plan too, and he just like swerves into the girl. And then Momo is like, all right, I guess that's who you chose. And he just blows up his buddy.
Yeah, so he just dies.
Yep.
He just fucking blows up. And then Jason Momoa is a bad guy, so he's like, well, I'm going to kill the other person now.
Yeah.
So Dom hits into her, and she's like, what the fuck are you doing?
And then he hits her into like a
parked car.
Yeah.
So she goes sideways, and the parked car scrapes the bomb off as her car's tipping, so the explosion goes up. And it's
Yeah.
just like,
And she let out the most ridiculous scream during this. I guess I don't know how you're supposed to sound in this scenario, but still.
it's just, I was just like, what the hell's going on? So then, Dom pulls over to save her, and Jason Momoa keeps
wins.
driving and wins the race. So it's just like, okay, but then he disappears.
And then Dom takes her out of the burning car, carries her away
Yeah, and then she wakes up
in her home.
in her home. And
How
it's
does
like,
Dom know where her home is?
I don't know, but it's like, this home looks really familiar.
And then cut to Dom staring at a photo
of
of
Elena, his ex,
his once love.
his dead girlfriend, mother of his child. And we're like, why the fuck is Elena there?
Also,
Oh,
what was the photo of her? It was literally like a screen grab from the movie. Like
of
it
her,
wasn't,
it was her like dressed up. But
and just like looking off.
But like, I think that was Elena's house.
Maybe,
Because that's the way it seemed like it. But then there was a photo of her dead husband in that same spot. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Forgot about that.
Yes. Whatever.
Because
Freaking
Reyes, who is Momoa's dad, killed her
Yeah.
husband too. So, like that's a neat
full circle. But then we find out Isabel, this cute young girl, was Elena's sister.
Little sister.
So that
the
means
troublemaker of the two. Even though, because she was like, the cop. But I'm like, she left the police force to go live with a criminal on a beach somewhere.
yeah, with millions of dollars and had a kid.
Like,
Yeah, they had a kid immediately
yeah, very fast.
because they thought Letty was dead.
I guess.
That was so wild. But then it's like you find out that they're related, and then you're like, oh, them. So then it's like this girl is now the
Part of the
freaking
family.
aunt of little Brian,
Yep.
and it's just like, oh my god. Of course, everything's connected.
And then
Which
she-
was so weird because during the race though, Jason Momoa was so flirty with her,
Yeah.
and then like wanted to kill her,
Yeah.
and I was like, he like licked her face,
That was later, but yeah.
and I was like, what the fuck? It was so weird.
And then it turns out that Elena,
Yeah, Elena.
had old files on Reyes. So they go through that and they find his secret base now. So Dom goes there.
Yeah, which is the police station where they stole the vault from.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because they apparently owned all this property and they all got sold off in auction, but the only thing left that's in his name is the old police department from 5, which I don't know why is abandoned now.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense.
So Dom goes there, and then it's just what's the word? Projections of his whole family everywhere.
Yeah, and then freaking Jason Momoa calls him on a landline.
Yep.
Which is so weird, and then talks to him and is like,
"You're getting taken in," or whatever.
Yeah, and then this is when the agency shows up, and Ames is the name of this big dude that's running the agency now.
Yep.
Which I don't know, where's the fuck is Mr. Nobody? They just keep saying he disappeared.
Yep. They say he's dead or just gone.
He ran the agency. How does he disappear?
Yep.
But Ames shows up and captures Dom and puts him in the back of his truck.
And Dom
says,
goes quietly.
Dom goes quietly, but they don't handcuff him.
Yeah. And then at one point, so they're all driving, they're chit-chatting because Ames is like, "I'm not going to join you even though you get everybody else."
Yeah,
and then
and
Dom's like, "Buckle up."
Buckle up.
And then he does buckle up and he grabs the wall. And Ames like, "What are you doing, bud?" Because I think this is where Dom realizes, like, I'm on the bridge. They're going to do something.
So he was like, well, Vin Diesel said this quote, and he said in the beginning of the movie, he goes, "The problem today is nobody listens." Because he's like, buckle up, and the guy didn't buckle up, and he's like, that's the problem.
And
nobody listens.
Then they get hit with a missile.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, dude, it's freaking insane. But they're basically back on the bridge where 5 took place. So like it's all full
Which
circle
I do
moment.
like that.
It's kind of cool, but it's also like Jesus
All right.
Christ, because this 5 took place 10 years ago, and that's what they say in this movie.
Yeah.
10 years ago, and then so Jason Momoa's been planning this for 10 years.
I fucking guess.
That's a wild time that's a long time to be scheming. That's insane, dude. It's wild.
For a very loose plan, too.
Yeah, so bridge scene, we find out, and then
Ames joins in because he's helping take down all the bad guys with Diesel or Dom.
Yeah, so then it's like, okay, that guy is now part of the team now, which is like, yeah, typical.
He saves his life.
Typical Fast and Furious. He gives Dom a gun to help him.
Yep.
Brie Larson shows up.
She gets shot.
Pretty
much immediately.
There's a scene where Dom's carrying her. It's freaking insane. And then this is about when John Cena shows up. About at this point, because he shows up at the bridge because they're all driving.
No.
What do you mean?
Wait, no, because that's John Cena. I don't think is at the bridge. This is the end of the bridge scene because John Cena is in the mines.
So when does the bridge scene come?
Here, John Cena's not on the bridge.
Not yet.
No, John Cena is never on the bridge.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
I don't think so. No, because the tank car was never on the bridge.
Yeah, it was because it flew over.
That's just a road.
I'm pretty sure it was all on the same bridge.
Because then they go to the mines. So now he joins with Ames because Momoa got away with in the helicopter. And then those two guys go and find their plane.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So then it's just absolutely insane. So now they're driving, right?
They're flying now.
Okay, yeah, they're flying.
So now we're going to cut back to John Cena where we left him.
Who now is being chased.
He escaped from the secret base, which was connected to a mine shaft. So now they're driving around like just like mining stuff. So it's a lot of just like big holes with like big circles around them, basically.
And then they get on the interstate. They get on a highway.
Yes.
And they're getting chased by a bunch of freaking cop cars. And
they're shooting
because he has a cannon car. He's just blowing shit up.
And then the cannon car jams. So Baby Brian... Oh, wait, but this is when... Okay, so now they're driving, and now Dom's like, where are they? And so he's like, well, there's 2 clicks of if we can land the plane here. He's like, I don't want to land the plane.
We don't have to land the plane. So, yeah, John Cena is in trouble because he's getting chased by all these people.
And the car's jammed. Or the
car's jammed. Little Brian's in the back freaking trying to load it. And then we see a plane fly over, the hatch drop down, and then Dom reverses out of the plane, drops down, and lands on 2 cars.
Takes them out. And they like go flying, but his car just bounces once and then it's back on the road and he's fucking going.
But those 2 cars that he lands on creates a roadblock, and all the cars that were chasing him now are gone.
Thank God.
And it's just like, what the heck? And little Brian looks up and he's like, Dad. Yeah. It's just like, okay, what's going on? And then Jason Momoa shows up.
He's chasing Toe now.
Yeah. And it's just like, okay, what the hell is going on?
Oh, wait. No, shit. Oh, so this is when the helicopters come in.
So now helicopters come in and they go... Jason Momoa is like, the only way to beat Dom is to get him off the road.
So two helicopters come and they shoot harpoons into Dom's car
On both sides.
and start picking him up.
And start lifting it up.
But he just drives harder.
Yeah. He drives harder and faster to keep it on the ground.
And then
because that's how cars work.
And then that's what happened in Hobbs and Shaw too.
It's absolutely insane. So and then he ignites NOS to pull it closer.
Pull the helicopters down. And so now they both crash into each other and are being dragged behind.
Yeah, so it's basically
he's dragging two helicopters
that are on fire, hooked to his car, and he's like, how do I dislodge this? So then he starts swerving.
He's not even like trying to dislodge them. He's throwing the helicopters at cars. And yeah, because at this point, Momoa is chasing him.
Yeah. It's absolutely insane. And at this point, while this helicopter stuff is going on, little Brian was in the back of John Cena's car.
Yeah.
And Jason Momoa pulls up and grabs him and pulls him in and steals him.
Yeah.
So now Jason Momoa has baby Brian. So it's like, well, you can't blow up his car because the kid's in there.
Yep.
So then what does Vin Diesel do? He takes a helicopter and whips it around to barely nick Momoa's car.
Right, he hits him while Brian's in the car.
Yeah.
Like, that's safe.
But he barely nicks it just to swerve him.
They still spin the fuck out, and then Dom is.
But they're talking over walkie-talkie, and he gives little Brian a secret message to know what to do.
And Dom is also spinning out from throwing the helicopter, and then they spin together. And
it's
in the worst
motion,
CGI,
yeah, it's a slow motion spin, which is what they did in another movie.
Yep.
And then Dom goes, now. And then little Brian opens up his fucking car door and jumps slow motion as these cars are drifting and leaps into Dom's car.
Because they traded Ramsey by doing that one time.
Yeah, from God's Eye.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, what the fuck? And I got excited. I got excited when it happened, but I was like, okay, come on. It's absolutely insane.
So now Dom has Brian in the car.
Yep.
And Momoa's went off road or whatever, but now a bunch of more mercenaries are coming.
Yeah, they're chasing after him
because Dom and John Cena are now on different roads,
but they're able to talk.
They're
to each
going
other.
the same direction though,
and John Cena is like thinking about he's like, I gotta leave. This is your mission now.
Well, because what he said is like, I've been in your shadow, but thanks for showing me the light. And so because Dom is driving up towards oncoming traffic, and that's all mercenaries,
and there are like a ton of them.
Yeah, and John Cena looks at him, and he's like, I got an idea. So what he does is he takes his cannon car and they all point down.
Yeah, he flips a switch so all the cannons shift.
What we thought is that he was just going to start shooting cannon fire at them.
Which would make sense.
And taking them out.
Why wouldn't he do that?
Instead, he points all cannons at the ground. And
then he launches the cannons, which throws his car into a flip motion instead of just shooting you straight up, which what would normally work.
I don't know what would normally work is the car would blow apart.
It would blow up, yeah. But it flips his car upside down and he lands.
Because this is the hardest I laughed, because just his giant face in this tiny car that is flying up, and it looks ridiculous, and he lands upside down
on these freaking cars,
and they all blow up. So you assume John Cena's dead. We'll fucking see. But now the thing is, like, what he did is he just blocked the road for Dom, but then Dom just maneuvers
around. But I mean, he freaking sacrificed himself for family.
Yep. So now Dom is just driving, and he thinks he did it because Momoa's out of the game.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. He thinks he did it,
and he pulls up. He's driving along, and he knows everyone else, I think, is coming towards them. Yeah, they all have the mark.
Yeah, because he just has to make it a little bit further to get to the plane that the agency, the Ames is there. Also, he knows his team is coming. Like, everybody's going to meet at this place. And he gets to a dam.
Yeah, he's driving along this dam, which is basically a bridge, and then he sees this big oil truck pull over, and he slams on the brakes, and he's like, oh no, something's wrong. And he looks behind him, another big oil truck comes in
and like it's blocking him on the dam. He's in the middle of the dam and everybody's freaking perpendicular to the road. And then Jason Momoa
calls in and gives him a dumb speech.
Yeah, and he's like, how are you going to choose now? Because you're going to die and all this stuff.
And the two cars start coming at him. And what does he do? Drives off a dam.
It's absolutely insane. But before he drives off the dam, he sees a helicopter coming his way. And it's like, oh, that's the team. That's the team. And then a fucking rocket comes and hits the plane. And guess who shot the rocket? Ames.
Yeah.
Ames is now, we find out Ames is working with Jason Momoa.
It was the most lazy, Gotcha.
Yeah, it was like
because all they did then was show old scenes of Momoa, and then Ames steps out around the corner.
yeah.
It's
So they showed
stupid.
they showed scenes from 5, and then but Ames was there, so they've been working. They've been scheming for 10 years now.
fucking guess.
So how did Ames become part of the agency then?
I don't know.
It doesn't
Let
make
alone
any
the
sense.
head of it.
So literally the plane with the team in it.
They hit an engine and it just
It crashes
drives
into a
off and
mountain.
You don't see it crash in the mountain. It goes
You
around
see
the
it
mountain.
explode.
You
You see
see
it explosion.
smoke.
Yeah. So then you're like,
No, you
oh,
don't see anything though. You see it.
Yeah, they're definitely not dead.
Well, yeah, there's 4 main characters in there.
So then it's Dom's on this bridge. These tankers are coming, and he's like,
Do you have faith?
well, yeah, he could bring up faith, but he's like, the one thing that you didn't take from me was my car.
He drives off the dam.
He drives off the dam as the oil tankers fucking hit and explode. So he's driving through this fucking explosion down a dam.
So we then see the fire start to catch up on him, and then slow motion. You see the fire break the back window, and it's like creeping in. You see Baby Brian in weird slow mo,
yeah,
and Vin Diesel,
and he's scared.
and like it's in slow mo, but Vin Diesel reaches down, turns on his nos, and reaches back up, and like very quickly. And then when he does that, we like travel up his arm, and you like see his hair, and then you like travel around, and you go into the engine,
Dude,
which I fucking love.
It does this early 2000s
in engine.
in fucking car camera thing.
Yeah.
Where it's just like showing the NOS freaking
And the blue
hit.
fire
the blue,
hits.
which isn't NOS flammable. It would just fucking blow up.
I don't know. Yeah.
So like it literally does that, and he gives him enough speed to freaking
to drive faster down.
outdrive, and then he launches off the dam and goes into the water. And it's just like, what? It was ridiculous, but I loved it. Like
That scene I liked. I liked that.
loved it.
That
dude.
one I was psyched about. I was laughing, which I don't think we were supposed to be, but still, I
dude,
enjoyed it.
It was absolutely wild. And then they get out of the car, they swim to surface, they're standing there, they're dripping wet, and they're like, we
and
did
Momoa
it.
calls them again, and he's like, "All right, you've suffered enough. Time to die." And then cut to the dam is covered with his bombs.
Yeah, which we didn't see earlier.
Yep.
But there's bombs everywhere.
And they're armed.
And Jason Momoa like literally hits it. It's about to blow up.
And-
Dom and Little B are at the bottom of it, fucked.
But Dom braces himself for a dam exploding. It's the funniest thing.
It's the funniest thing because he turns towards the dam and does like this pose
and he's
where he gets like
ready.
super strong, and it's just like, dude, what are you doing? And then it cuts.
Yep.
And I was like, is that the end of the movie? That's where I thought it. And then no, there's one more scene.
Antarctica. The hatch flies open, and out crawls Letty and Cypher.
Yes. And then they start walking through the snow, and they're walking, and then all of a sudden, out of the fucking ground of Antarctica,
Nuclear
a
submarine.
nuclear submarine comes out, and we're like, what the fuck? And then
Biggest spoiler of all.
a hatch opens and somebody's in there, and guess who it fucking is?
Giselle.
Giselle is back, baby. And dude, it's so, I got so excited because I was like, yes, she's back.
And like it looks so bad though.
But I know, but I'm glad she's back.
Yeah, me too.
Because early on, like the beginning of the movie, there's the weird thing where Han downloads Tinder and is getting matches left and right.
Yeah,
That's like
with
the only
supermodels, yeah.
But then it's like, oh, Giselle's still alive,
Yep,
which is
and-
like, fuck yeah.
Also, is that the submarine that they stole in like
Yeah, that was like that's
6 or
Cypher
whatever,
submarine.
Yeah.
But then that's how the movie ends. So like it just ends.
Yep.
And apparently this is one of 3.
Yep. A trilogy.
It's just gonna be a trilogy.
Even though 3 out of 4 of these storylines were, well, I would say 2 out of 4 were pointless. John Cena at least
my
like really
God.
came in at
And
the
guess
end.
what? It's the beginning of the end.
Yep.
It's-
the
dude,
beginning of the end of the road. Is
So
the
then
tagline.
the credits start rolling, and then there is one more scene.
We get a just police people going through a big old building.
And I was like, whose house is this? I thought it was like Mama Shaw's
Me
house.
too. I thought it was Mama Shaw.
We don't know whose house
it's a
it
big
is.
theater at the end.
But there's like a song playing,
and then
and
there's
then
a phone call, and someone picks it up, and it's Momoa saying, "You were part of this too."
you were part of this. We're coming after you. And then at the very end, this guy takes off his ski mask, The Rock, which I thought
He was done. He
Yeah,
said he was.
Yeah, I thought they got in fights over the last one. Was like, fuck this. I don't want to be a part of it.
Yep.
So now I guess The Rock's going to be in the next one.
So The Rock and Giselle, meaning, and as if Mr. Nobody comes back, then everybody is back.
Is John Cena dead?
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. But that was
That'd
the
be a
movie.
hard one to survive.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Right, yeah.
Han's alive.
Blew up several times, yeah.
times. That was Fast X.
Did you enjoy it? Neither did I.
I was laughing. There were scenes where I was like, yeah, like I was
Sure.
like I was like, this is ridiculous. What's weird is like there was music playing throughout it. It was just like a lot of just like bullshit that didn't need to be in it.
It was
And
bad.
it also
It also wasn't
it was long.
And it wasn't like one-liner bad. It was just bad.
Like the writing was so bad. The writing was so terrible. Like Brie Larson's character was not good. And also like it just seemed pointless.
They should have ended at 7.
I'm curious what's going to happen now because they left it on a fucking of course, that's
but also
how they
like
cut
it's
it.
a cliffhanger, but like everybody lives, like everybody survives their big
But
cliffhanger.
how is Dom and Brian going to survive a damn explosion when they're at the bottom of it?
Oh, right. Because our guess, we have two guesses.
We have 2 guesses.
They're going to get washed. Both as they get washed away. And one of the guesses that they look down and like, is that our submarine?
Yeah.
And then they scoop them up.
They scoop them up in the submarine, which would be wild. And their other guess is they get washed up, they land on an island,
Like a beach or something.
Yeah, they're like washing and then there's a hand and
Holding a Belgian
beer, and it's Mr. Nobody.
And he looks up and he's like, you've seen better days, or something stupid.
Something stupid that he would say, and then that's where it starts. That's our 2 guesses.
Yep, we'll see.
Because it's not like they're gonna die. You
No,
can't kill them off. There's 2 more movies.
But like the dam has to explode, right? I don't fucking know.
Dude, it was. The sound and everything, like it was fun to hear it with like the loud and see it on the big screen. What would you rate this out of 10?
4.
You're gonna give this a 4. I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 10.
So 4.5 out of 10.
4.5 out of 10. I don't have the other ratings on me from the other ones.
Because the way I ranked, where I put this film, because I'll go from...
Yeah, but I have like the actual ratings written down in a different notebook.
Right, no, I'm just saying our rankings so far. Because number 1 we have is 5.
Damn, 5 is our number
So
1.
it
I
goes
think 5 and 7 we got the same
Tied,
score. Yeah.
So 5, 7, 4, 9. I didn't know 9 was that high. 8, 2, Hobbs and Shaw, 6, and then I put 10 here, and then 1, and then 3.
So yeah, that's better than 1 and 3. It's just like
Not good.
it's just ridiculous, and it's like, why is this still a fucking thing?
Yeah.
Why is this still a movie? Let us know what you guys thought, if you've seen it, or if you're gonna see it. You probably won't because you're like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it because it will become a streaming eventually and on
eventually.
DVD, and it's.
Not good.
It was fun going to the theater.
Yeah.
And it was fun like doing that.
And we'll see them all in the theaters from here on
doing
out.
that experience, but man, it was just like when it got over, I was like, that was just bad.
Yeah,
Like it was just not. At least like the scenes were big and like.
Sure, but like not
like-
bigger than 9.
No, but I mean like 1 and 3 was bad, and there wasn't even like there wasn't any cool scenes.
Yeah.
There was maybe like a cool drift scene in Tokyo
That's it,
Drift and
yeah.
like that, but these had like big
Explosions,
explosions, and it's
yeah.
just like, oh, a typical action movie
Yeah.
with car parties. That was our review of Fast X. Hopefully, I mean, we tried to cover everything, but it was also a chaotic, crazy mess.
To family.
To family.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.